The first ever Farage at Large we did was in Port Talbot in South Wales, and I talked there about steel. That actually to keep blast furnaces going was inconsistent with our net zero targets, and therefore what we were doing was happy to see the steel industry close down, move to India and China for steel to be produced under lower environmental standards than the product shipped back. And I feel furious when I learned the news today that 3,000 jobs are to go in South Wales at Port Talbot as the blast furnaces are to close. Is this not strategic madness for a country? Well, I'm joined by Roy Fishwick, Managing Director of Cleveland Steel. Roy, can you understand why I'm so annoyed about this?
Yes, I can to a degree. The two arguments have become blurred. So there's the net zero argument, which is very important and is an issue regardless, but a lot of that in the UK is about energy. And then there's the strategic importance of steel. And in fairness, I don't see that the current decisions have got anything to do with the strategic importance of steel.
So why are these decisions being made then? So why is this happening then, Roy?
Well, there's two things. You've got the decarbonisation, and electric arc furnace steel is without question a much lower consumer of energy. But you've got a very uncompetitive UK steel industry at the moment, even from the blast furnace side, so they're losing 1 million a day or whatever it is. But again, part of that's to do with the fact that the investment hasn't existed for donkey's years, and the energy costs in the UK far outweigh those of other places. And you've also got the issue in terms of the energy, the fact that no matter how many ways you look at it, the global steel industry is still exploiting energy and steel from Russia and for other markets that are otherwise excluded at the moment. So there's a real issue, not just in the UK, it is Europe-wide.
Yes, I mean, the energy cost thing, of course, again, is part of that going green net zero agenda, isn't it? You know, we have finished up with our manufacturers paying way more for their electricity, for their energy, than their competitors in Europe, America and elsewhere.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would think that's down to the actual cost of green energy, because the cost of production of green energy, true production, I think is much lower than that of the carbon sources. But that's not how the UK industry prices its electricity.
No.
No. So we're still
I know there is a huge racket with how we price wind energy. I know that. That's a slightly separate debate. But Roy, I mean, you talk about electric arc, you know, and you're an expert in this, and that's fine for recycling steel, isn't it? But if we finish up with no blast furnaces, then strategically as a country, we are not primary producers.
No, we're not primary producers. Electric arc furnace has its limitations for the products it can produce.
Yeah.
It's also the case that actually all scrap is currently recycled, essentially 98% or something like that. So what we're doing at the moment is we're preventing scrap from leaving, or will be preventing scrap from leaving the UK so it can be consumed within the UK. But that's only saving transport carbon. Transport carbon is a fairly insignificant aspect in the total cost of carbon steel production. But we're already having to import at least 30% of the UK steel requirement. We can't make a variety of products that we require in the UK, within the UK now anyway. So as I said at the start, there's a different thing. At the moment, really, this seems to be about net zero, truthfully, not at all about the protection of the steel industry or a strategy for industry.
Yep. No. Well, Roy, I can't disagree with that. Net zero or perhaps nut zero, depending on your point of view. Thank you.